This strategy might be one of the cheesiest strategies I have ever seen in Overwatch, but it's still a strategy nonetheless, and we need to approach the situation with an open mind instead of writing it off without analyzing its elements. The Mei stall strategy is fun to watch yet interesting to ponder about, so in this video I'm going to explain whether or not this strategy has the potential to be viable in competitive Overwatch. So without further ado, let's break down the Mei stall strategy. So what is the Mei stall strategy? The Mei stall strategy is when the defensive team positions themselves in an enclosed tight corridor where Mei can use her wall to close the opening of that corridor and at the same time contest the payload.
A little bit more, another wall. I mean, they're keeping it contested actually.
Yeah, the cart can't be moved.
This is actually hilarious.
It's actually kind of cool because if you try to get in there and commit, you're going to get hooked. This is actually really cool.
This is the cheesiest thing I have actually seen in so
really
long.
sick. So
now this could be really frustrating for the attackers because when the Mei wall goes up, there's pretty much nothing they could do but wait it out or break the wall. The wall consists of 5 pillars, with each pillar having 500 health. So in total, the wall has 2500 health. If you try and break the wall, you're gonna have to break through an Orisa shield or a Reinhardt shield, and by the time you break the shields, Mei will have her wall back up. If the defending team plays the strategy perfectly, it's extremely challenging for the attackers to counter this because the defense will just keep rotating their cooldowns so they have a constant flow of resources going up. And the thing about Mei is she can also contest a cart with her Cryo Freeze, which is basically an ice block that lasts about 4 seconds. These 4 seconds are critical for the defense because once it is over, it gives time for a Reinhardt shield to charge up to full or an Orisa shield to be up from a cooldown. Now let's analyze the best composition that works best for the Mei stall strategy. First, I don't believe there's one set comp. I think the comp is really based on what works best for certain teams and what map you are playing. You could play out this strategy on different parts of different maps like First Point Route 66, Under the Bridge at the Mega Health Pack in Watch Point Gibraltar, First Point Dorado in the apartment, and other maps in Overwatch. So even though it depends what maps you are playing, I still believe there are staples to the comp. A staple pretty much means a certain hero that has to be played on every map in regards to the Mei stall strategy in order for it to work. Obviously, the first staple of the strategy is Mei. Without Mei, the strategy clearly cannot work because she has the wall, she has the ice block, and she also has one important thing that nobody really seems to talk about, and that's the actual blaster where she could freeze people with her left click. When you're positioned in a tight corridor, some attacking teams would get restless and frustrated, and this would make them rush into that corridor. However, Mei can use her left click to stop the attackers in their footsteps and freeze them, giving the defense an easy target to kill. The second staple is obviously a tank with a shield, so Orisa or Rein, but I honestly like them both in the comp. When you have an Orisa, you have the Fortify ability which counters many heroes in the game, you have the shield cooldown which is really low, and you have valued consistent DPS with her gun behind the shield. Reinhardt is also good because he has the strongest shield in the game, and if a team rushes inside the corridor, Rein hammers anyone who comes near his range, so a tight corridor would be deadly for the attackers. Now as for the off tank, I was thinking it had to be either Zarya or D.Va, and the more I thought about it, I was thinking which off tank has the best ability to counter any counters the attackers might come up with. And let's say the attackers build a Tracer Pulse Bomb or a Graviton or a Pharah Barrage. The only hero that could counter all of these things is D.Va with her Matrix. I believe Zarya would have been good for the bubbles, but D.Va just adds so much more value with the Matrix that she can pretty much eat all the effects that may sabotage the strategy. With regards to healers, this was also hard because many healers could work, primarily Ana, Mercy, Moira, and Brigitte. With 3 tanks and a Mei, I only have 2 healers I could choose from, and I think Ana is critical. Ana's default kit has a lot of useful abilities like a sleep, a nano boost, and more importantly a biotic nade. Now, if one of the healers die, the team will most likely collapse, so you need healers that have the most survivability. If a Tracer blinks on top of you, Ana has a sleep or a nade at her disposal. Brigitte would have been good with the extra armor and the shield, but she just doesn't add enough value in regards to the healing aspect that a team would need. Sure, Brigitte has other assets she could provide like a mini shield or a really good brawling capability, but Reinhardt can provide that on a higher level, so it makes sense to just choose another healer that can diversify your composition. Moira would actually be amazing with this comp because she has the ability to heal multiple people with her AoE heals, but I just think a resurrection is something so much more useful, and that's what Mercy would provide. If you make one mistake as a team and somebody dies, Mercy gives you an extra chance with the res, but if you don't have a Mercy, one mistake can cost you the entire defense. So I really believe Ana and Mercy are the best two healers in this comp, but I really see teams playing Moira and Brigitte in some cases. Now let's address the main question. Is the Mei stall strategy viable? Now, to answer this question, we need to ask ourselves what can exactly counter the strategy, and right off the bat, some things come in mind. Now, if you have double shield and a Roadhog with no D.Va, the possibilities become overwhelming. With a Tracer Bomb, Pharah Rockets, just anything that D.Va Matrix can eat up, you can use against this strategy if D.Va isn't present. Now, if you ditch the Roadhog as your off tank for a D.Va, the possibilities do become more limited for the attacking team. However, one hero that provides enough pressure to counter the strategy is Bastion. Bastion in turret mode provides an insane amount of constant DPS, and with the focus fire of the team, tearing down the wall and the shields becomes much more doable. I think the defense won't be able to rotate their resource cooldowns, and eventually the attackers will have a window of opportunity to get a kill because Mei won't have her wall up or her ice block, Rein's shield will be destroyed, and Orissa's shield will be completely broken. But in order to do this, the attackers must tear through all the shields together and focus fire the target at hand, because it may be frustrating at first and someone from the attackers might want to make a play and brawl in there, and that's just the worst thing you can do. The worst thing that the attackers can do is rush into that tight corridor, because Mei will just put the wall up, splitting the team in half or catching one or two players inside the wall. That gives time for the defense to 6v2 the players stuck in the wall cut off from their team, and they would just completely be eradicated. The one ult that can absolutely destroy this entire strategy is the Hanzo Dragon Strike, and in my books, if you get countered by one ult entirely, I honestly don't think the strategy is viable. In this scenario, the comp's biggest strength is also its biggest weakness. Trapped inside a tight area, the defenders won't have anywhere to dodge the Hanzo ultimate, killing most of the team and collapsing the entire defense. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. I greatly appreciate all the support. Comment down below if you think this strategy would be viable in competitive Overwatch. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. If you guys enjoy this type of content, subscribe to this channel. Guys, we upload really actively and there'll always be a video for you guys to watch. My name is Motorius and this video is brought to you by ESTNN.